With Legion on the horizon, there are a few things which I think you should get on and do before the pre-patch hits. Whether it be because they're going away, or that they're just going to be plain right impossible to do. In this video, I'm going to count down 5 things which you should get on and do. Hello everybody, Tommyruin here and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things which I think you should definitely get on and do before the Legion pre-patch hits, because afterwards you're not going to be able to reap the rewards from them. Now, some of the items and achievements aren't necessarily going away, but due to the patch changes they are being phased out, or they're just going to be a lot harder to get because places like Draenor are going to be cross-realm zoned, and there's generally not going to be as many players around. So without further ado, let's kick this video off at number 5. So at number 5, the thing which I think you should do before Legion hits is get as many classes as you can to level 100. The leveling experience isn't that bad, and you've got so many potions and stuff now to get yourself there very quickly. It really shouldn't be that much of a problem. So the reason for this is because obviously at level 100, going into Legion, you're going to go on a long quest chain to get an artifact weapon. And the artifact weapons are different per spec, so different classes are going to have different storylines throughout Legion, which is something you might want to experience by leveling up different characters, because you won't be able to experience the Warlock quest lines on a Paladin. It just doesn't make sense. Now, there is another reason. If you haven't been living under a rock, you may know that many of the classes are getting massive overhauls, which could mean your beloved main of many years is going to be different, and you may not like that, whereas other classes, some of your alts, are going to be changed in a much better way. So having lots of different characters at level 100 will let you see these changes and make a decision about what you want to play in Legion. I know when the pre-patch hits, I'm going to be going over all of my alts and seeing which ones I really like the feel of, because you can only really tell when you're on your own characters playing the game when it's live, I feel anyway. At number 4, I really recommend that you get on and finish your Legendary Ring questline. When the pre-patch hits, you'll no longer be able to go and pick up the questline, with those who are already on the questline having to finish it in that month before Legion hits. A lot of people have been saying that the Legendary Ring is still going to be a very viable ring slot choice up until max level, until you start doing heroics. So that ring will carry you through most of the expansion, which is something really good to have a hold of, I think. I mean, it basically gives you a trinket with a massive damage on demand effect, so you can't go wrong with getting one really. It will help speed up leveling so much compared to wearing just a shitty Ring of the Eagle or something like that. So not only do you get a swaggy ring, you also get the achievement points and feats of strength from getting the Legendary Ring, just like the Pandaria one gave. So go and take Khadgar out for a few nice dates, sweeten him up a little bit, and then steal his jewellery. So the third thing I recommend you to get on and do before the Legion pre-patch hits is to go and farm the rares which drop the mounts scattered around Draenor. There are quite a few different mounts, and I will put them all on the screen, but basically there are 2 mounts in Nagrand. You've got Nak the Thunderer and Lookhawk. They drop the Bloodhoof Bull and the Mottled Meadow Stomper respectively. In Frostfire Ridge you've got Gorok and Nokkarosh, and they drop the Great Grey Tusk and Garn Nighthowl. In Talador there's the Riverbeast Silthide, and that drops the Sapphire Riverbeast mount. In Gorgrond there's the very popular Pound Fist, which drops the Sunhide Gronling mount. And in Shadowmoon Valley there is Pathrunner, who drops the Swift Breeze Strider mount. Now, the reason I say to farm these now is because come Legion, the zones in Draenor are going to be made cross-realm zones, so the possibility of finding these mounts is going to decrease massively. So why not, instead of jumping around your garrison for a few hours, go and jump around one of these zones and hopefully find one of these mounts. The second most important thing I think you should get on and do before Legion hits is the quests at the Gladiators Sanctum. These PvP related quests give you some pretty damn cool titles, but you have to get kills on Draenor. This means that when the Legion expansion hits and no people are on Draenor anymore, these quests are going to be impossible to complete. I mean, really hard. If you thought killing 500 Pandarin was hard enough already, it's going to get so much harder. So while you still have time, I strongly recommend doing these quests. Spend a couple of hours in Ashran and group up with 4 other players on the same quest, and you will get through these quests so much quicker. This is because instead of just getting 1 kill, in a group of 5 you will get 5 kills per Pandaren, for example, killed. Now, I was very lazy, and for the Goblin and Pandaren parts of this quest, I kind of gave up and I bought a boost, and it is very easy to get boosted for this quest. It only cost me 40k for the 2 races, and I know that there are groups offering 80k for the whole set. So if you have time, head into Ashran, and if you don't have time, I strongly recommend getting a boost because these titles are very cool and will be nigh on impossible to get when Legion hits. Once you've got all of these titles, you can do something to net you 2 extra titles. This requires going into the High Mall Coliseum, picking up the quest Fight Kill Salute and killing 100 players in the High Mall Coliseum will get you the Warlord of Draenor title if you have completed the effigy quests from your Gladiator's Sanctum in the garrison. And if you win the High Mall Arena, then you get the Lady or Lord of War title. So I strongly recommend donning your PvP gear and heading into Ashran for a bit, and then trying your hand at the High Mall Coliseum, because trying to get these achievements once Legion hits is going to be a lot harder. So for me personally, the number one thing everyone should try and do before Legion hits is the challenge modes, because the weapons from them look so amazing. I mean, some of them look even better than most of the artifact skins, so if you want to stand out from the crowd and stand out from all of those paladins who are going to have Ashbringers, you could be the one with the big ass flaming sword. I know for sure that as a monk I'm definitely going to be using the claws as my default weapon skin when Legion hits, because everyone's going to be running around with the same old shitty little claws. And the Claws of Creation from the challenge mode sets look amazing, and I really haven't had a chance to use them this expansion because there's hardly any fist weapons in the bloody game. Now, I know you might be saying, Tommy, challenge modes are hard. I don't really want to put myself through that. There are people offering boosts now for, I think it's around 250k on my server, so if you want to go down that route, as gold is quite easy to obtain nowadays, then that is a good way of getting them before they are gone. And I've noticed recently on places like the general forums and Reddit especially, there are lots of people asking for others to do the challenge modes with them. So if you get yourself geared up in the right way, learn the tactics, you can have a whale of a time going through these challenge mode dungeons, and you get the sweet ass weapons too. So those are the 5 things which I think you guys should get done before Legion hits. If you guys can think of anything as well, leave it down in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. I'm always happy to talk to you guys on there. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe and leave a like on this video. But that's all for me for now, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.